A sudden royal decree has shaken the very foundations of British politics. Starmer, caught completely off guard, faces an unprecedented challenge from the throne itself. King Charles has just dropped a bombshell that is sending shockwaves across the nation. What exactly happened? Why now? And how will this seismic event reshape the future of the UK's political landscape? Stay tuned as we unravel the explosive details behind this historic confrontation. The atmosphere in Westminster grew tense in the early hours when a surprise announcement from Buckingham Palace stunned everyone watching. King Charles, in a rare and decisive move, issued a royal decree that directly challenges the leadership of Labour's Keir Starmer. For years, the monarchy has maintained a careful neutrality in political affairs, but this bold step has sent a clear message. The era of subtle influence is over. Starmer, who has spent months trying to consolidate power and rebuild Labour's image, suddenly finds himself blindsided by an unexpected royal intervention. Sources close to Downing Street reveal that the King's decree is not just symbolic, it carries real weight and consequences, signalling a shift in the balance of power between the Crown and the political class. This unprecedented decree reportedly questions Starmer's ability to lead the country through its ongoing crises. From economic turmoil to international tensions, the King's statement criticises the current leadership's failure to provide stability and clear direction. Political insiders suggest this royal message was carefully crafted, reflecting deep dissatisfaction with the government's handling of recent events. And the shock isn't just political, it's personal. Starmer, once viewed as a steady hand and a possible future Prime Minister, is now under intense scrutiny. His reaction so far has been one of stunned silence, leaving many wondering if he truly anticipated this royal rebuke. The timing of the decree couldn't be more critical. The UK is already grappling with multiple challenges, from soaring inflation and strikes to foreign policy dilemmas. In this fragile moment, King Charles's intervention has triggered an immediate national debate about the role of the monarchy in modern Britain. Supporters of the Crown argue that the King is fulfilling his duty to protect the nation's interests, while critics warn of dangerous overreach that could undermine democratic processes. And the media frenzy has only intensified, with headlines declaring a constitutional crisis and a power struggle unlike any before. Across social media, the public is divided, some applauding the King's courage, others condemning what they call an attack on democracy. Behind the scenes, whispers of secret meetings and back-channel negotiations swirl. Royal aides and senior government officials have reportedly been working overtime to manage the fallout. Analysts suggest that this decree could be the start of a much larger campaign by the monarchy to influence policy and leadership decisions directly, breaking decades of tradition. The implications are staggering. Could this mark a new era where the monarchy asserts more active control over political affairs? Or is this simply a one-time shock designed to jolt the government into action? As the day unfolds, all eyes remain fixed on Starmer. How he responds to this royal challenge will define his political future and possibly the future of the UK itself. Is this the beginning of the end for Starmer's leadership? Or will he find a way to turn the tide and regain control? One thing is clear, the nation is witnessing history in the making, and the shockwave from King Charles's decree is just beginning to ripple through the corridors of power. The shock unleashed by King Charles's royal decree has sent ripples far beyond the walls of Buckingham Palace into Westminster, igniting a national crisis that few saw coming. In political circles, the event is being described as a constitutional earthquake, one that challenges long-held conventions about the separation between the monarchy and elected government. For decades, the British Crown has upheld a largely symbolic role in politics, remaining above party disputes and refraining from direct intervention. Yet King Charles's move has shattered that unspoken agreement, thrusting the monarchy into the heart of political controversy with a direct critique aimed at Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party and the opposition. This decree was not a mere formality or ceremonial statement. It was a clear, powerful reprimand that exposed deep fractures within the current political landscape. The King's message underscored concerns over national stability, economic hardships, and the perceived ineffectiveness of the government in tackling pressing issues. This was not just a critique of Starmer's leadership style, but an explicit questioning of his capacity to navigate the UK through what the decree termed perilous times. Political experts immediately began dissecting the language used in the royal statement, noting its unusually firm tone and directness. Such language is rare, even unprecedented, coming from a monarch whose traditional role has been one of neutral observer. This deliberate departure from tradition indicates King Charles's frustration with the status quo and his desire to send a warning that the country's leadership must evolve or face consequences. Inside Labour Party headquarters, the atmosphere is fraught with anxiety and uncertainty. Starmer's closest allies are scrambling to formulate a response, but the leader himself remains unusually quiet, further fueling speculation about his next move. Some insiders suggest that Starmer is grappling with the full gravity of the royal challenge and is weighing options that could include reshaping his cabinet, seeking new alliances, or even stepping down if pressure mounts. The weight of the decree is more than symbolic. It carries political ramifications that could undermine his authority both within Labour and across Parliament. Opposition members from other parties are seizing the moment to criticise the Labour leader, accusing him of weakness and poor judgment, while calling for greater accountability. Meanwhile, the public reaction has been swift and polarised. Across the country, citizens are debating what this royal intervention means for Britain's democracy and future. Pro-monarchy supporters have rallied behind King Charles, viewing his decree as a necessary wake-up call to complacent politicians. Many believe the King's involvement is justified in light of the challenges facing the nation, including inflation, strikes, and international tensions. They argue that the monarchy must protect the country's interests, even if that means stepping beyond traditional boundaries. Conversely, critics warn that this move dangerously blurs the lines between constitutional monarchy and political dictatorship. Civil liberties groups, opposition politicians, and constitutional experts have raised alarms about potential threats to democratic norms and the risk of setting a precedent where the Crown interferes directly in government affairs. As the political fallout continues, whispers of behind-the-scenes negotiations between the palace and government officials have surfaced. Senior advisors from both sides reportedly met in secret to assess damage control strategies and discuss possible pathways forward. Some believe that King Charles is positioning himself to play a more active role in steering the nation's political direction, potentially challenging the supremacy of Parliament and elected leaders. Others argue that this is a one-off intervention meant to shock the government into reform and that the King will retreat once the message is delivered. Whatever the case, the royal decree has undeniably altered the political landscape, forcing politicians, institutions and citizens alike to reconsider the role and power of the monarchy in contemporary Britain. The immediate question now is how Starmer will respond. His options are limited and fraught with risk. An assertive counterattack against the monarchy could provoke a constitutional crisis, while acquiescence might be seen as a sign of weakness and invite further royal interventions. Many political commentators suggest that Starmer must carefully balance his response, perhaps by calling for a national dialogue on the monarchy's role or proposing urgent reforms to restore public trust. Yet the pressure is immense and the stakes are high, not just for Starmer's political career, but for the future of British democracy itself. In the coming days, every statement, decision and move will be scrutinised as the nation waits to see whether the shockwave triggered by King Charles's royal decree will fade or escalate into a full-blown constitutional battle. The reverberations of King Charles's royal decree continue to shake the foundations of Britain's political and constitutional framework. This extraordinary intervention has ignited not just a political storm, but a national reckoning about the role of the monarchy in modern governance. Historically, the British monarch's power has been largely ceremonial, with the Crown acting as a symbolic figurehead, while real political authority rested with elected officials. Yet King Charles's unprecedented move has disrupted this long-standing balance, sending a clear message that the monarchy is no longer content to remain in the shadows during times of national crisis. This shift has unleashed deep anxieties about the future of democracy and the unwritten rules that have guided British politics for centuries. Within the corridors of power, the royal decree has created an atmosphere of palpable tension and uncertainty. Members of Parliament, government officials, and political strategists are scrambling to interpret the implications of this intervention. Many view it as a watershed moment, one that challenges the very essence of parliamentary sovereignty and the constitutional monarchy that has defined the UK. Starmer, caught in the eye of the storm, faces a precarious position. His authority as Labour leader is under intense scrutiny not only from opposition parties and media pundits, but now from the highest seat of the monarchy itself. This unprecedented challenge raises questions about whether the Labour leader can maintain his grip on power or if he will be forced into political concessions or even resignation. The impact of the decree extends beyond Starmer and the Labour Party, casting a shadow over the entire political landscape. The Conservative Party, traditionally seen as the natural ally of the monarchy, finds itself in a complex position. Some senior Conservatives have expressed cautious support for King Charles's concerns, acknowledging the difficult circumstances facing the nation and the need for decisive leadership. However, others worry that this royal intervention could destabilise the political order and lead to unintended consequences, including public backlash against perceived monarchical overreach. In this environment, party leaders are weighing their responses carefully, aware that their reactions could influence the balance of power in the coming months. Public opinion is deeply divided, with the royal decree igniting passionate debates across all strata of society.